let's have a look at the Legion time denial build. One of the perks are empty. We're going to go into that very shortly. So we're going to look at this perk next. So using Martin Abuse while in a chase, your terror radius is increased by 8 meters, but otherwise when you're not in a chase, your terror radius is decreased by 8 meters, and your field of view is increased by 10 degrees, so you'll be able to see better. Thanatophobia: for each injured, dying or hook survivor, all survivors receive a penalty of 4% up to a maximum of 16% to repair, healing and sabotage. This will work very well with the next perk, which is Sloppy Butcher. Every time you hit someone, it will moderately increase the survivor's bleeding frequency and cause a mangled states effect, which will make healing take quite a little bit longer. So Thanatophobia works very well with Sloppy Butcher. And the add-ons: Filthy Blade moderately increases the amount of time required for survivors to complete the mend action, which is very good. Again, another slowdown add-on. Iridescent Button: every time you go into Feral Frenzy, your terror radius affects the entire map. Any pallets you vault are immediately broken. And Survivor Pudding for extra blood points. So in this instance, in the game you're going to see, in this perk, they had 2 repair kits and a key and a map. So we put in Franklin's Demise so we can knock the items out of their hands. You could put Save the Best for Last in. That's another option. You can put Whispers in. You can even go for Discordance. There's plenty of others. I would even put Strider in if I had tier 3, but I don't. So there's plenty of different choices for you to use. Welcome, it is iChaotic, and we're looking at the Legion Time Denial build. So I've showed you what perks are running. Let's have a little talk on how you should approach playing this build. Right, we don't have Ruin, so you're going to want to try and find a survivor as quick as possible. Start spreading the deep wounds around as many as possible. So if you find a couple of survivors pretty close together, that is brilliant. Thanatophobia will do its job, and also Sloppy Butcher will slow down the healing process. So we're just going to try and find our first lone survivor. The beauty of Iridescent Button is as soon as you go into Feral Frenzy, every survivor will have the terror radius, so they will panic. So we're going to try and find the next one. So we've got 3 over there. Don't think we're going to make that. They're too far away from me. So what you got to remember with the Legion now is, on his last buff, he actually had a speed buff back up to the normal speed of most killers. So you should be able to catch survivors a little bit easier than what you could before. So she's got the Sloppy Butcher effect now. Thanatophobia is working, but only slightly. No barbecue and chili now, so we're just going to have to try and find any gens that are being worked on. There's one popped. As soon as you get deep wound on 2 or 3 players, it will slow it down quite dramatically. There we are, scratch marks. Let's see what we can muster. There's one just go around the corner. Can we spread any more? There's another one, which will prolong our marking of targets. And here's someone healing up by here. So when we heal that, it will break. The Iridescent Button will break anything that you hurdle while you're in Frenzy. Bit of a silly heal there by David. Silly save, sorry. So on the hook you go for that. Silly save when the Legion is so close. So you have 2 injured, 1 on the hook. So you've got quite a slowdown. The players are going to have to mend. Then they don't have to heal, but because you've got the speed boost, you'll be able to get up to them pretty quickly. I hear footsteps. Where are you? There you go. So again, if we can get a knock on her, we'll have another one injured, so that's your full quota. thanatophobia, which is now kicking in very, very nicely. They're not carrying any items because Frankness the Mice have knocked them all out of their hands. Should be able to down her again with a bit of that. Nice lunge. And as you'll see, I'll start snowballing the injuries and the deep wounds and make the survivors' jobs very, very difficult. Enough of me waffling on. I'm going to leave you with the gameplay. Enjoy, boys and girls. And Jake Park has deliverance. We know he has deliverance. because he is broken. He has the broken status effect for a minimum of 1 minute if he's at tier 3. So we need to locate Jake if we can. And the other survivor has died on the hook to allow the hatch to open. Very good move, is what I would do as well. So we're in a race against time to try and find the hatch, and luckily we go straight past it. So we've got 2 exits that are quite far apart. Very, very far apart, matter of fact. So we're going to have a quick look here. Doesn't look like he's there. Could be hiding nearby. So I decided to go into frenzy to try and shut down the distance to the other door. And lo and behold, he is there. So he has a pallet. But this is taking his time. This is taking all of his time up. Not a problem. Unless he makes it back very, very quickly, the entity will get him. Are we going down? Okay, not a problem. Good try. Nice try. I like Deliverance. Nice perk. You need to get one safe hook, and then you can unhook yourself. Very, very nice survivor perk. And on the hook he goes. So again, in a summary, because you haven't got ruin, you need to start spreading the deep wounds, the sloppy butcher and the thanatophobia as early as possible. If they are all carrying items, you can also, like I say, use Franklin's Demise, but there's many other options you can use for that 4th perk slot. Save the best for last is one I would recommend. You can get on the attack with if you have plenty of stacks. We'll save the best for last. You can get on the attack and follow up your attacks very, very quickly. So let's have a little look at our survivors and how we did in points wise. And there we have it. Some pretty high ranked survivors in there who struggled quite a lot. So there you have, boys and girls, there you have it, the Legion Time Denial build. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you like or dislike or you would change, or whether you think it's a pretty solid build. I think it at least makes him a little bit more efficient. On a bigger map, you need a bit of luck to get the survivors close together if possible, but yeah, it's a good slowdown build. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you very, very soon. Peace out.